Well, the First Lady of the Republic of Zambia, Ms. Mutinta Hichilema, will be on the Copperbelt in just a few hours from now. It was announced by the man you see on screen next to her, that is Hichilema, Copperbelt Province Provincial Minister. So, Hichilema is one power force that people ignore. Like for a while, there was that campaign where people are advocating to say she's supposed to be given that office that for the First Lady, where she does a number of charitable activities around. I remember Savoy Mboila was one of the major advocates for that, so that people can trace her movements. Then that was never done. Like an official office of the First Lady was never announced or anything of that nature. And for the most part, she's been off the grid, like in terms of political activity. And that's what makes her more relatable to many Zambians, is that most people see a mother in her and then the others see a grandmother, just grace. And she's never made any political statements, really. Apart from showing up and doing great work. So she only shows up when it's time to make some impact. And right now we're heading into the general elections. You can see they've brought out the big machines. So according to Elisha Matamo, so First Lady Mutinta Hichilema is expected to be on the Copperbelt to donate assorted items to Quito Teaching Hospital, KTH, in Quito District. Copperbelt means Elisha Matamo has announced. So you can see we're heading into elections. Someone is asking to say which part of the Copperbelt. Ronald, she's going to be in Kitwe, so at Kitwe Teaching Hospital, as announced by Elisha Matambo in a few hours from now. So yeah, she's only brought out when it's time to make some impact, because a lot of Zambians are able to see a mother in her, just grace, and she's that's the main reason. Like when things get heated, you bring out the First Lady just to do some what you call soft power. That's what she wields. Because it's very difficult for every political opponent, so it's very difficult for them to strike at her and make announcements or pretty much strike at her, because she's not politically active, really. She's never made a political statement or anything like that. She just shows up when the president requires her to show up, and then she goes off the grid, just runs family businesses and farms, and just be a wife, really, and a mother mostly. So she's showing up in the public, so most people are looking forward for that meeting. In other news, Chief Atayari has bit off more than he can chew, it seems. So as you may be aware, the past couple of days, Chief Atayari has been jabbing at Makebi Zulu, just like this post here. He says, Malukula, referring to Makebi Zulu as what you call those people that deal with dead people, dead corpses in the mortuary. Is it mortuary attendants? Yes, I think that's what they're called. So Malukula Makebi is nothing politically without Chitumbi, referring to Chitumbi Chaba Lungu, which is why it does not want us to does not want the burial. Chitumbi is his political capital and manifesto. He is just like the mortuary attendant for Edgar Chagwalungu's body. So according to Chief Atayari, that. And then eventually some fire came back from the other side. So as you may be aware, he's been striking at Makebi Zulu and the former First Lady Esther Lungu for a while. So most people have no problem with Chief Atayari striking at Makebi Zulu or any other political opponents. I mean, it is what it is. It's politics. The person that was supporting Edgar Chagwalungu is dead, and he has to survive. So he has to find an alternative, a life raft, as they refer to it. So it's understandable. But what people are uncomfortable with is his ability to start insulting the former First Lady and also Edgar Chagwalungu in particular, even going further to say Edgar Chagwalungu was not even supposed to be president. He was always just some random stuff that is so surprising. Then people are now surprised to say, hey, the only person that protected you in the Patriotic Front, and a number of people wanted to deal with for a while within the Patriotic Front, even the time that you were still in good books with them. But because of Edgar Chagwalungu's protection, with financial help, with his lawyers, I'm sure you know the history with that. People understood, and they don't want to. He was protected pretty much by Edgar Chagwalungu and the former First Lady Esther Lungu. So when Edgar Chagwalungu died, the Hilton is what people are shocked about. They understand him trying to get into the UPND. That's understandable. It's politics. It is what it is. But where you start insulting the people that fed you, the people that protected you, the people that looked after you, now people are like, wait. And that's where the apprehension with President Hakainde Hichilema is, and the team trying to bring Chief Etari in the team, because check us out, if he can insult Edgar Chagalungu and his the former First Lady Esther Lungu like that, and for a while he has not been in good books with President Hakainde Hichilema. If you seen how much he tried to campaign him in the build up to the 2021 elections, even until Edgar Chagalungu, he was a very antagonistic, and that's the reason why he even ran away from the country. It's because of that. Aside from the number of court cases that he has, it's because of, and then he wants to flip and say he's supporting Hakainde Hichilema. Now imagine if, let's say, Hakainde Hichilema loses the elections in 2026 and Chief Etari has to move to the next step, what sort of insult is he going to yell on President Hakainde Hichilema then now? So it's that whereby you look at Chief Etari, it's all about his personal benefits. If it does not benefit him, he's not loyal. And obviously now someone has put revoke asylum for Zambian national in Malaysia, Chief Etari. So a platform called Chair, the Voice of Zambia, there is a lady that runs it. I think she should be either in the UK or in the US, one of those diaspora platforms, is a Zambian living either in the UK or in the US. She's done a revocation to say Chief Etari has no reason to be in exile. Because he's now supporting President Hakainde Hichilema, and then again, his grounds for running away from the country is that no, President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND government are trying to persecute him. So now, what argument is he going to use with the UNHCR to say, I'm running away from a person that I'm supporting, and so it's not making sense? So she's put up a petition, and the number of signatures that petition received in just a couple of hours, I think it should be like at 1,000 now. I don't know what number it is. That like people are not feeling it, and most of the hate for Chief Etari is coming from the total disregard and disrespect for former First Lady Esther Lungu and Edgar Chagalungu. And people know how much money he pumped into Chief Etari, how much protection he gave to him. So people are like, this guy is not loyal to anything but his stomach. And that's why even the UPND top leadership is avoiding him, really. Yes, they might want to bring him so that he can do some campaign really on his platforms. But to what end? Because UPND won the elections without Chief Etari when he was antagonistic against them. So now what use is it to bring him close? So maybe it's those people that are around UPND sympathizers that I'm offering help to him. I highly doubt the end is getting any help from the UPND structure itself. It's those supporters of the UPND, just random people, really. But anyway, there is that petition, and she's put up a link, and it's been signed, obviously. And she says, but Edgar Chagalungu evalele ngati abantu balechitatora Chief Etari abalifwa. So she's simply saying the only person that made the people tolerate Chief Etari is Edgar Chagalungu. Now that he's dead, let's deal with him to say, okay, fine. And that's the reality. Edgar Chagalungu protected the Chief Etari for a while, including the former First Lady. So people are surprised. So like, okay, fine, now that the people that protected you are done, let's deal with you. And that's what's going on here. Let's see how far they pretty much referring to the UPND. They're going to, we will take you once he's back home. Mweba mtumpika tayari ni mwevo. Let him be useful to Hakainde Hichilema back home. So our argument is like, oh, fine. Since he has decided to support Hakainde Hichilema, he has no grounds to be in exile. Let him get back home to Zambia and support President Hakainde Hichilema on the ground, so it is more effective. And that's the reality. That I highly doubt President Hakainde Hichilema is even aware of any campaigns that Chief Etari is doing for him online. It's those random supporters that are helping Chief Etari. So he's saying, okay, fine. Since you're supporting President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND, you have no reason to be on a self-imposed exile. Just go back home and let's see how that situation plays out. So she's simply daring. So now the signature platform is got to 1,502 signatures, people petitioning the UNHCR to say, hey, let him get back home He has no reason to be running away from Zambia. The situation is perfect. So she's using his live streams, his posts, where he's saying the situation is good in Zambia. Then why are you running away? The problem is that people think they are the only people that think. Yeah, Chifetari was thinking he was too smart. There are people who are able to see right through the nonsense, and they're trying to test the waters. Fine, get back home to Zambia. Let's see if you'll be able to speak the same. And Chifetari was quick to respond immediately after he saw the post, obviously. And you could tell even from the post, he's simply trying to save face. He knows the fact to say he's been cornered here. If the UNHCR reconsiders his asylum application in Malaysia and they find that he has no reasons to be running away from Zambia, he's been saying himself, President Hichilema is great, is a great president, the situation in Zambia is great, and he's doing a great job, then why are you running away? So Malaysia is simply going to say, hey, my friend, you really have no reason to be in this country. Go back home. The situation is perfect. That's what the application is. So he put up a post trying to say first, no, I'm patriotic, and like anyone else, you want me to be jabbing at the sitting government just for the sake of jabbing at them. And then let's see how he's going to use that argument in explaining himself to the UNHCR, the people that have given him the asylum, because the grounds that they gave him the asylum have changed. So very soon that submission is going to be made. She's just gathering evidence. All the live stream that he does, all the posts that he does are going to be used to say, hey, this guy is running away from a country which is perfect. He has even said it himself. So he's just simply running away from facing the courts. He's pretty much is a crime. I mean, he's a criminal running away from facing the consequences of his crimes. That's pretty much going to be an argument. Not that the government is hostile or anything of that nature. Look at what he said. That's the evidence she's using. So Chifetari is simply trying to save face there. And these are some of the things that she's been posting to say. The UNHCR refugee status is determined by the United Nations High Commission for Refugee in Malaysia and not by the government. The UNHCR issue a card that identifies a person as a refugee and provides a degree of protection. But this card is not an official legal document recognized by the state. And then absence of a revocation process. Since Malaysia does not officially grant asylum, it has no legal process to revoke it. However, a person's UNHCR card can be cancelled by the UNHCR itself if they no longer meet the criteria for protection. So that's what she's using. She's quoting the UNHCR documents, simply saying, hey, this person does not need protection. He's running away from pretty much facing the courts, not that the government is hostile. Of course. But Chifetari there, he was quick to respond. He tags the lady, he said, my chair, well, now the same platform says, chair, the voice of Zambia, should ask herself, why is Malukula Makebi Zulu lost his Malambo seat? As you may remember, Makebi Zulu was once a member of parliament. Just after one term, when he was even a minister of Eastern Province, with Edgar Lungu as president and a lot of money at his disposal. So simply saying, this lady has been sent by Makebi Zulu, that's irrelevant, really. The fact is that, yes, he started a fight with Makebi Zulu, and now Makebi Zulu is sending his people to fight him. It is what it is. So, and recently just reunited with his family, and the situation might change now if that asylum application is revoked. And he has to move to another country where he has to start doing that thing he was doing. If you remember, he was moving to countries where the Zambian passport, you can stay up to 90 days without a visa. I think South Africa is one of them. So he'll start moving again until he finds another base. But it looks like there's a likelihood his asylum might be revoked very soon. She goes further. The same lady that signed the petition says, "So you do not have to pay if you don't have just signed the petition and copy the link and share. Thanks for the over 1,000 petitioners. You can't claim political asylum while supporting the very government you are running away from. Tomorrow we will email UNHCR." So she simply says, with a number of signatures she's received right now, the UNHCR will be emailed to say that person is running away from his own ghost. He's supporting the people that he's running away from there. It makes no sense. And obviously there she's been gathering evidence from his post, so just gathering some evidence for the submission. The post that Chief Etali has posted several times, pretty much endorsing and praising President Hakainde Hichilema, saying, hey, this person is great actually, then why are you running away? Come back home. Hello, don't come and say, Chair, forgive him. Tayari must go back home. Let him come back to Zambia and face the music of what he stirred up, not fighting from without there. And then Chair. So why worry if he's if he is not a heavyweight? Talking about Makebi Zulu. Why you keep on talking about Makebi Zulu if he's not the political heavyweight? Asylum in Malaysia is handled by the UNHCR, and you left South Africa before settling in Malaysia. Yeah, and that's true. He kept for a while. Once he ran away from Zambia, he kept on changing countries, and then he used to utilize those 3 months period because there are the number of countries where Zambian can live for up to 90 days without any visa application, really. So for a while, he was changing countries that allowed for that, and eventually he got his asylum and settled in Malaysia. So once that is revoked, he has to start doing that 3 months arrangement again. Back here, 3 months until 2026, if he doesn't want to come back to Zambia. It is what it is. And then she goes further to say, change of circumstances. If your actions or statements indicate a change in circumstances that undermines the original reason for seeking asylum, the authorities may reassess your eligibility. Producer concern, if intentionally misled or withheld information during the asylum process, it could be considered perjury or fraud, which can lead to revocation of asylum status. So she's simply throwing away some of the quotes from the UNHCR document. And then she goes to say, remember Tayari said and told Ethel Chisomo Edward, if you remember that lady that used to insult President Hakainde Hichilema from the US, she says to go back home, that he is working with the UPND, meaning Chief Etali is working with the UPND. He advised her to come back home, and that she will not be arrested because he has spoken to the UPND. While Chief Etali tricked an American into getting arrested, that to go into evidence. So she's saying she's going to use that evidence because allegedly Chief Etali was sent to having that lady come back to Zambia. He advised her to say, no, Chief Etali is working with the UPND and the situation is good on the ground, so she can come back, and whatever the insults that she had yelled at President Hakainde Hichilema and the government were forgiven. But that lady simply landed at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport and was arrested, and she's been in prison since then. So she's simply saying she's going to use that as part of her submission. Yeah, pretty much. So she's highlighted a number of reasons. Chief Etali, I think he just reunited with his family a week ago, and the situation might change after that submission. His asylum process might be reconsidered, and you have to start moving from one country to another. I wait for Tayari's lives so that I can gather enough evidence to submit to the UNHCR. In the meantime, whatever post of him supporting the United Party for National Development, UPND government, please send it over. And people are sending stuff. This guy has triggered a number of people. So let's see how his situation plays out. But yeah, that's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, with regard to Chief Etali's situation and his asylum in Malaysia.